Welcome back to episode 118 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Yes, if you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I am not in my normal location. I am not in my garage with the Dodger flag behind me. I am in Tucson, Arizona, covering the 2025 World Baseball Classic qualifiers. I'm sure, hopefully, you've heard of it. Hopefully, you've been watching it the last couple of days. But yeah, I am. I took the show on the road this week. So, um, Kyle, fresh off of his honeymoon, he
Absolutely.
had a pep in his step today. Oh my goodness, he came in here, man. I'm like, wow, what happened during this week? But um, over the week, but uh, we're still doing, we're still continuing with our division previews this week. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think we were going to, but like everything, do it on the fly. So while we're doing this, I got to figure out how to put these divisions standings 1 through 5 because right now I have no idea what I'm gonna do. But we'll figure it out as we move along. Same thing as always, myself and Kyle. How are you doing today? And how was your week?
Oh, it was great, man. Obviously, we kind of touched on it last episode. We went to Disney, had an amazing time. Yeah, I mean, I was standing in line and ended up getting the email for the credentials. I could not make it because of the honeymoon, so I am in my normal space here. But yeah, Melo, you took the initiative, man. I absolutely love to see it. Yeah, no, it's good that one of us are out there, getting content and stuff. So yeah, it's great, man. Um, yeah, just kind of same as always. How are you doing, man?
Fantastic. I've been out here since Saturday night. The games began Sunday. It's been terrific. Everybody's so nice out here. Um, I mean, to be honest, the games haven't really been that competitive. Like, there's only been like maybe one game that was good, but I think these last two games, because there's two games at this recording, Colombia and Germany play tonight, and that's a big game. If Colombia wins, they're automatically in. They get one of the last two spots. And if Germany wins, there's a three-way tie with Germany, Brazil, and Colombia. They would all be three. They would all be 2-1, and then you got to go in math with the tiebreakers. So there's a scenario if Germany wins tonight, um, we might leave the stadium not knowing who's going to be playing in the final game on Thursday.
Yeah,
Seriously, that was what one of the PR guys was telling me. Like, we might not know by the time we leave tonight if Germany beats Colombia. But so I don't know. I kind of want chaos. So you know what I want? I want a good game. That's what I want. I just want let's can we go past the seventh inning and it's still a tight game and it could be anybody's game. That's what I want to see. But and I think
absolutely.
we're gonna get that. If we won't get that tonight, I think we're gonna get that Thursday. So I might be popping champagne with the Colombian team tonight. So that'd be fun. But yeah, doing fantastic. Tulsa, quiet little city, kind of underrated. I've that underrated is the word I've heard a lot from the locals around here. You know, I kind of like that. They're kind of like, hey, don't forget about us out here. Everybody goes to Phoenix, for the Diamondbacks and the Suns and Chase Field and all that. People go to Glendale to go see the Cardinals, but don't forget about Tucson. That's the vibe I've been getting around just talking to some of the locals here, and I like that. And they've definitely been great hosts. Uh, they've welcomed everybody in. Everybody here in the complex is so nice. I really mean that. Like I'm not saying that just because they gave me this. I'm like I
Yeah,
generally mean that. Like people around the building are so nice. They're very helpful. So overall it's been a blast. But I'm not done just yet. And more to come. Hopefully, you've been looking at the content that I've been pushing out a little bit. So, kind of
yeah,
cool that I get to do that.
no, that's extremely cool, and it kind of goes into our next little topic here. Just a quick update. I mean, we obviously you out in Tucson. That's huge for us. You've been killing it out there, doing your thing. That's been amazing. Um, I personally got the full season credentials for the Reading Phillies again.
Yes.
Obviously just a little bit of a minor league action. Try to break it up a little bit. And it's always fun with minor league players because they have a different perspective of the game. They really do. You know, I was lucky enough to get Kendall Simmons, who's now he's a Dodger now. Um,
Yes.
you know, Carlos De La Cruz, who's now a national, and Tristan Garnett for the Reading Phillies last year. So, you know, those guys were great, and I'm sure it's going to be the same this year. You know, we're going to be pushing out more content. I'm going to try to get field access, things like that. So yeah, it's been really cool, and then we got to have a little bit of a celebration because we're going back for our third year to Cooperstown,
Yes.
New York, for the 2025 induction ceremony, and I will say this is going to be the first year that I'm a little emotional up there, man. You know, CC Sabathia, 2009 World Series champion. I think that's huge. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and of course we have Ichiro, who's headlining the entire class and Billy
Yankees legend.
Blackmore. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, no, third year in a row for us going up to Cooperstown. I think it's going to be huge. So yeah, and we're we just keep pushing out content and doing our thing, and we appreciate all you guys. We wouldn't be able to
Yes.
do this without you, seriously. Instagram followers, YouTube subscribers, the whole nine yards. You guys are great. You let us know when you don't like our opinions, and you let us know when you agree with us. So we wouldn't want it any other way. We appreciate you guys very much, and a lot of good content coming up, man. I'm really
Absolutely.
excited. It's already been a big year. You're out in Tucson, and then of course we're going back to Cooperstown. So yeah, huge, man. Seriously, I can't stress that enough. It makes it a little bit easier doing this job like this. And I
It
don't even want to
does.
call it a job, man. This is my dream, man. It's amazing. It really is. I know it's yours too, and that's what we're building towards. And yeah, just a quick little sentimental, message there. It's been huge for us, man. Seriously, and we can't express enough how much we appreciate it, and we we love doing this. That's what we want to do, and it's big for us. It really is.
Absolutely. I agree with everything Kyle just said. I reiterate that and I agree with that. So before we get into the previews, I got two quick stories from this week that I want
Let's
to share. I haven't
let's
even
hear. It.
told Kyle yet. So
Oh, let's
I
hear.
haven't
It.
even told him yet. Well, one of them he knows because he saw it on my story, but I'll get to that second. First, the very first night I was in Tucson, I drove up Saturday. It took me pretty much all afternoon. Granted, I left like at 11 a.m., so I was basically setting myself up um, to get there a little later. Got to the hotel about 6:45 ish, 7. Went to go eat, went to In and Out. Luckily, there's one down the street from here, so that was nice. Came back, tore it up, showered, was tired from the drive. I got to get up the next day. I'm going to bed. Went to bed. Of course, first night at a hotel, not a first night at a place, not your bed. You have a hard time sleeping. Kind of have a hard time sleeping a little bit. At least I do.
Yeah.
I'm 600 miles away from home. I'm by myself. So it's like, you can get a little nervous, so it can cause you not to want to close your eyes and go to bed. So I finally did after like maybe fighting myself for like 45 almost to an hour. And then I want to say around maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear this beeping sound coming from my room. I'm like, okay, like that's weird. I didn't hear that before when I got here. It was the smoke alarm. The smoke alarm, I guess the batteries were low.
Okay.
So it was beeping. It was beeping every maybe 25, 30 seconds. Now, as you can imagine, I'm in a hotel room by myself in a city that I don't know. Um, it's 2:30 in the morning. It's not like there's a lot of noise going on around outside inside the hotel. So, um, you know, that beeping sounds a little bit louder than it should. So obviously, I need to get back to sleep. I wanted to get back to sleep. I'm tired. I have to get up I had to be up in 4 hours. I had to get up in 5 hours. Whatever. Um, I took the initiative to myself to take the battery out. Didn't work. Still was beeping. I wanted to rip it off. I wanted to get a pair of scissors and cut it off, but then obviously I have to pay for the damages and stuff. But wasn't working. So at 2:30 in the morning, I was, and I had to take a dump too. So I was like, well, I might as well do that. I was sitting on the toilet 2:45 in the morning with a beeping smoke alarm going off not that far away from me. I was on my phone looking to see if there was any kind of store open that had batteries. And these weren't AAA, AA batteries. It was like those square batteries. I don't even know. They're like A9 or something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
I was debating, not debating, I made up my mind that I was going to go to this AMPM, which is like it's like a convenience store, like with a gas station. I was going to go to the AMPM, look in there and see if they had batteries. I was going to come back, put the batteries in, hopefully fix it. I was going to go back to sleep. I was going to do that at 2:45 in the morning when I had to be up in a couple hours. And thank God somebody was at the lobby in the front of the hotel. He was about to leave though. He wasn't, he didn't have his bag ready to go, but he was a couple minutes away from leaving. He told me that. So I told him, hey, like I got my, the smoke alarm in my room doesn't wanna it's beeping. The batteries are low or dead, I think. So sure enough, 15 minutes later, the guy came in with a brand new smoke alarm, put it in 5 minutes, stopped beeping. I was able to go back to sleep. So that was my first story. Second story, I'm sure as you all saw, Manny Ramirez. Got
Yes.
to interview him. Got to interview him Sunday before the game against Brazil and Colombia. Somebody pointed him out to me. He was like, "Hey, Manny Ramirez is here." I'm like, "What?" Now, obviously, his kid Lucas Ramirez plays for Team Brazil, so
Hmm.
I was like, "Okay, like I was hoping he would show up, but I didn't think he would." You
Yeah.
know. So then, obviously, I'm like a dog looking for its owner. I'm like, "Where is he?" I'm trying to sniff him out, and then finally, he comes through the front. I'm like, "Oh." He's like the aura, you can feel it. Like, holy shit, this is Manny Ramirez. Um, Obviously all the media people were very anxious and interested and excited. They wanted to talk to him. And shout out to the PR guy, communications guy was like, "I'm gonna see what I can do." And sure
Hmm.
enough, maybe 10 minutes later, he came back and said, "Yeah, let's we're gonna go interview him." I'm like, "No way!" I'm like, "That's cool." So,
Absolutely.
and shout out to Manny too. He didn't have to do that. He
Yeah.
wasn't there. Playing. He was technically going as a fan to watch his son. He
Hmm.
had no media obligations whatsoever. Didn't have to do that. But he took 5 minutes out of his day to talk to like 5 or 6 reporters. So that was very nice of him. Now, there's a story to this that you don't know. Nobody knows except my parents. So, and I'll eventually show Kyle the full 5 minute clip because I have it. I'm not going to delete it.
Hmm.
Manny was very active on his feet. He was very active, meaning now, again, this is Manny. He knows how the media works. He's very media savvy. And he shows you the respect. If
Yeah.
somebody was asking a question, because we're all huddled like in a scrum, like he's in front of us, and then we're all just kind of gathering around him. So somebody would ask a question, he would look directly into the camera or the phone that they were recording on. Super nice, very nice. I had my phone on my tripod, and I had my little mini mic out like this. So, people were asking him questions, and, I wanted to get one in. Number one, I didn't know what to ask him because I kind of wanted to go with the theme of what everybody else was asking. I didn't want to just say, I didn't want to be a Dodger fanboy, for even though I easily could have and I wanted to. But I'm like, let me be professional. Let me ask a question, about like the WBC and everything, or maybe about his son. And sure enough, the opportunity came. So finally, about 4.5 minutes in, I finally was able to get a question in. Here's the only problem with that. I lost track of where my phone and tripod was. So the audio is perfectly fine, but myself or Manny was not in the shot. And I was devastated because
Absolutely.
I'm like, when am I ever going to be in the same area with Manny Ramirez again? It can happen,
Yeah.
but what are the chances of that? So obviously, there was like 6 or 7 other reporters that were there. So I started asking people, hey, like, did you record the whole thing? And if you did, can you check and see if my question was in there?
Yeah.
Can you at least see if he was in the frame when I was asking my question? You know, the first news reporter I asked, she said no. She stopped recording after her question. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. Then I mumbled something as I walked away. Um, so then I asked the other news reporter lady. Shout out to her. Shout out to Vanessa, the local ABC sports reporter here in Tucson, Arizona. She had the full video.
Wow.
Now, I'm not in it,
Hmm.
me, which is fine. But you
Yeah.
can clearly see me, my hand with the mic almost to his face. You
Hmm.
can, and I'm doing this, like I'm asking him a question. I do this with my hands a lot. You
Yeah.
can clearly see it's me.
Hmm.
So I got it, and I'm gonna post it maybe probably towards the end of the week.
Hmm.
But it ended up the last 15 seconds of that video ended up being me and him watching his son be hit BP. And the lady, she did it perfectly. It was like he was watching her son hit, and he got it. She got it all in one shot.
Very cool.
Perfect, perfect. And the thing that I'll never forget, I asked him my question. He gave me a very thoughtful answer, and then he said, "Hey, let's watch him right now." So we both turned and we started watching him. I'm like, dude, I got to watch BP with Manny fucking Ramirez. Are you kidding me? And remember how I told you a second ago
Yeah.
that Manny was very respectful. He was
Mhm.
looking at you. He was looking at the camera. So all these other media people are like a couple feet away, and it's just me and him side by side watching together. That
Yeah.
was freaking cool, man. And for
Oh,
people that are wondering why I'm so fascinated with Manny Ramirez, you got to understand something. I am 22 years old. Not that old. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. My first memories of watching baseball, watching the Dodgers, and just being able to remember things in general. You start remembering things around maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, give or take something, 4, 5, 6. One of my first memories of baseball and the Dodgers were those late 2000 Dodger teams that lost to the Phillies in the NLCS in '08 and '09. And the centerpiece of that was the Manny Ramirez trade in July of 2008. Like that, he was so cool. He was hitting home runs. He had the dreadlocks, like Manny was my first all-time favorite player. He captivated the fan base. He captivated the city. They gave him a section in left field called Mannywood. How many teams do you know that are doing that with their stars? So, and as a 6 year old kid that doesn't know any better, you can easily attach on to Manny Ramirez. And in Little League, I wanted to be number 99. I wanted to play left field because Manny Ramirez was doing the same thing, you know?
absolutely.
So I have an emotional attachment to Manny Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
So there's my little two stories right there. So I will be posting that Manny Ramirez clip eventually this week, which was a pain in the ass to get, by the way, because she had it in those little SIM cards. How I don't have that. How am I gonna put that? How am I gonna put that in the computer? So she
Yeah.
airdropped it to me. Finally was able to get it, and then it gave me that crap on my laptop where you can't play it on the QuickTime player.
Hmm.
So then I had to convert it, and that took like 4 hours to find the right one. But I definitely did. I figured it out without having to pay, by the way, because they try to make me pay. So it's 45 seconds, but man, like my parents know how much I love Manny Ramirez, especially my mom, and she was very happy for me.
Yeah.
Like
No.
that's my guy. Listen, I understand didn't his time with the Dodgers didn't have the most memorable ending. Got busted for PEDs. But I don't give a shit. Like, dude, I'm a 6 year old kid. I don't care about that stuff. Like, just
Yeah.
you don't know. I don't know any better. So
Hmm.
Manny Ramirez is my guy. I'm glad I got to literally ask him a question and have a conversation with him. It was only
Yeah.
like 45 seconds, but man, that's good enough for me. That's good
Hmm.
enough for me, man. And hopefully I can see him again later this week if he comes down for the final game. Um, on Thursday because I think Brazil will be a part of it. So
Hmm.
hopefully I can get my picture. That's what I want. I want a picture now. I'm gonna get greedy, but we'll see. There's some red tape. I might have to take this off. You know,
Yeah.
so. But there's my two little stories in Tucson, Arizona. And who knows? By next Monday, I might have more. You never know. But
Abs- no, absolutely, man. That's extremely cool. This, although this is what we want to do for work, it's still like you can't deny the fact that we're baseball fans at heart. That's what we are. We're just we're two guys who just want to work in media, man. That's what we want to do. And stories like that, and when you see these guys, that's what propels your fandom even more. And it makes you want to work in this industry even more. I know both you and I are going to college for these things, and we're jumping on every opportunity we can. This is what we do, and this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives, man. I can't think of a better job for myself, and I know you feel the same. I kind of felt that way a little bit with Gleyber Torres. He was the centerpiece in that Aroldis Chapman trade, and when he came over to New York, I fell in love with him as a prospect. And when I got the chance to interview him, I was head over heels, man. It was so cool, and those are the things that you remember from working in this. Um, yeah, it's amazing, man. And it's though that's what you remember. It's work, of course. Don't get me wrong. We spend a lot of time and effort into putting this stuff together, but at the end of the day, we do it for the love of the game, and that's what matters, man. So stories like that, it makes sense of why we do it. So whenever we question, what the hell we're doing here, we go back to moments like that and say to ourselves, yeah, this is what we want to do. So absolutely, man. It's a great story, and I'm rooting for your picture with Manny, man.
thank you. I might cry if that happens on the field. I
I,
might cry if that happens.
I get it, man. I get it completely.
Okay, now let's transition. We've done this has been literally a 22-minute monologue from me, so let's get into the stuff. We're previewing the AL Central today, the god awful AL Central. Um,
Yeah, it's going to take a turn here.
it is. Let's not waste any more time, and let's get into the first team, the Chicago White Sox.
Let's get
Uh,
them, man. Get them
Yeah,
over
let's
with.
get it over with. They broke the all-time record for most losses in a single season last year. I was at the game of the year in September when the White Sox played the Angels. That was must-see TV. Who come down to Angel Stadium, see the crappy Angels and the historically crappy White Sox for $2 on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But
Yeah,
they did make some moves, though. However, believe it or not, they did make some moves. Uh, They gave Chris Martin Martinez a 1-year deal. They signed Austin Slater, signed Mike Talkman. They signed Michael A. Taylor, Tyler Gilbert. That was a trade. Matt Dice. That was a trade. Uh, However, they did lose Yohan Moncada, Michael
sure.
Soroka.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they obviously traded away Garrett Crochet to the Boston Red Sox. Um, their over under is set at 51 and a half. And you look at their lineup: Mike Talkman, Luis Robert Jr., Josh Rojas, Andrew Varshan, Len Rosa, Joey Gallo, Dodgers legend, Yankees legend, Miguel Vargas, uh, Colson Montgomery, and Corey Lee. And the rotation is Martin Martinez, Jonathan Cannon, David Davis Martin, Sean Burke, and Bryce Wilson. Um, and Andrew Benintendi's he's not the one guy that they have. I don't even. I think he's hurt right now.
yeah.
I think he's not even going to be ready for opening day or something. I don't know. But they're over under set at 51 and a half. I'm
Give
going to
me
go
the.
over.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
go over. I don't think they're going to be. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to win 80 games or anything, but you mean to tell me you can't get more than 51 wins? Now, I understand what they did last year, but I don't know. I think that's just me being sorry for the team. I'm just going to be honest with you.
No, I get it. Me personally, I'm taking the under. If there was one team to do it, it's going to be the White Sox. Um, they they're too young yet to do anything with, and the veterans they have are not anything to wow over. So for me personally, I'm just going the under.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. It makes a ton of sense. They have notable guys on this team. You know,
They do, yeah.
it's just they can't put it together.
Hmm.
Did they miss their window with trading Luis Robert Jr.? I don't
Um,
think so, but he
he
kind of
needs
had a
to,
little bit of a down year last year.
he did, and I would think going into this, he's going to have a. I think he's definitely going to be better, but I think he needs to have a really good first half for them to get anything worthwhile back. He's a guy who I see at the deadline being all on the rumors, so we'll see where it goes. But I expect a bounce back year out of him. Um, for the White Sox sake, they kind of need it. So it's the way I look at it.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, enough with the White Sox. I'm going just in order here in terms of the total wins here. I am very shocked that this is only at 82 and a half. But let's
Hmm.
talk about the Kansas City Royals here. Um, they traded for Jonathan India. They
Hmm.
signed Carlos Estes to a 2 year deal. They re signed Michael Lorenzen. Traded for Joey Weimer. They did lose Brady Singer, Adam Frazier, Tommy Pham, Paul DeYoung, and Louis Gurriel, all to free agency. Um, and their lineup that they're going to roll out this year: Jonathan India, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Salvador Perez, Michael Mazzei, Hunter Renfro, MJ Melendez, Miguel Garcia, and Kyle Ishbel. And the rotation is going to be Cole uh, Cole Rawlings, Seth Lugo, Michael Walker, Michael Lorenzen, and Chris Bubik. And their back end of their bullpen, of course, obviously, Carlos Estes is going to be their closer. I am very shocked that this is at 82 wins.
Yeah.
Like, I think I think they're going to be better than that. 82 wins. You're basically saying they're going to be 82 and 80.
Hmm.
Like Vegas doesn't see Kansas City having the same success like last year. And I disagree with them. I'm taking the over on this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a easy over for me. I was high on this team last year. I think both of us were, to be
We
honest
both
with
were.
you. And I'm going to continue that, man. I feel like they got better pieces around their veterans, and Bobby Witt's a star, man. Absolute superstar. Yeah, he's a guy to build around, and I think that's what they're doing. They have a certified ace in Cole Reagans at the top of that rotation. Absolutely love that. Seth Lugo had a hell of a year last year. Yeah, and I mean, and so did Michael Walker too. He did a whole
Right.
lot better than what I expected, which earned him a contract extension. So this is a very easy over for me. I don't think it could get it any easier for me.
Yep. Uh, Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins.
It's a wild card.
Yeah, this is where it can get a little interesting here.
Oh yeah.
Um, just trying to pull this up, trying to pull up the thing. Here we go. What did the Twins do last year? You may asking. Uh, they signed Harrison Bader to a 1 year deal. Signed Ty France to a 1 year deal. They did lose Kyle Farmer, Max Kepler, Carlos Santana to free agency. Um, and their lineup that they're going to roll out this coming year: Matt Warner, Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Trevor Lenarch, Royce Lewis, Ryan Jeffers, Willie Castro, Ty France, and Brooks Lee. And the rotation is going to be Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, Chris Paddock, and of course back into the bullpen, Johan Duran. But their over under is set at 83 and a half. Like, see, that's a good number. If it was at 84, I'd take them over under. But um, See, this team for me can go either way. I can see a scenario where they're competing and they win, 88, 89 games and they have a wild card spot, or who knows, even competing for the division. Then I can also see where they fall apart like they did last year. Remember, the Twins were in a playoff spot for the longest time last
Yeah.
season. They just fell apart the last 5 weeks of the season, and they missed out on the postseason. But um,
This is a wild card, man. It really is because you said it perfectly. This team could go either way, truly. And I like what they have around them. I do. I
right,
don't think this is a terrible team. I
no,
really don't. However, my hiccup here is Detroit's better. I think Kansas City's better. And Cleveland's Cleveland still. You know, I'm going to take the over on the Twins. I am.
okay,
Because I like that number for them. But I don't think it's going to be by much. This Twins team, I think they took steps back where the two young teams in this division took those steps forward, and we saw that last year. So for me, I'm going to take the over, but it's not going to be by much.
taking the under.
I that's
I'm
another
taking the
thing.
under.
I respect it. I do.
Can Byron Buxton play?
That's what I'm saying.
I feels like since I've been here at Around the Diamond, like feel like I've said this every year going to the division previews. Like,
Yep,
can he play? Is he going to be
absolutely,
healthy this year? I don't know what difference. I don't. He's 31, going to be 32 this year. I don't know what a difference he can really make if he's healthy, but I think it could be substantial. Like, we saw what it looks like when he plays 140, 150 games a season.
absolutely.
He's just had trouble staying on the field.
Absolutely. I truly couldn't agree more. This is a guy, if you pair him with a healthy Carlos Correa, they can make some damage. That's a good duo. It really is. And I think if he can just stay healthy. And like you said, it's been the same thing for me since I've been here. This guy just can't stay healthy. He's been having problems left and right, but we know what he can do when he is healthy. That's the big thing. And I think has been the hiccup for the Twins over the last few years because the damn guy can't stay healthy. So, I mean, you have him roaming center field. He's quick. He has the potential to be a five-tool player. He really does. But the problem is his health, and it's been health. And of course, he's aging all while having these
Right,
health. So I totally get it, man. He needs to stay healthy, and then that way, this Twins team can stop getting in their own damn way. That's the big
right.
thing.
And can Royce Lewis? He had a down year last year too. Now he was hurt also, but
Hmm.
233, 16 home runs, 48, 47 RBIs after the postseason he had the previous year. Like, a lot of people were high on him going into last season.
Absolutely.
I think I heard him in MVP conversations almost. But there's too many question marks with this team. Obviously Pablo Lopez, top of the rotation, he's going to be really good. But
Oh yeah.
after that, it's not really much, and then you really didn't do anything. Harrison
Exactly.
Bader, Ty France, like that's not really moving the needle that much for me. So
No.
going under. All right, Detroit Tigers. They had an incredible season last year, and it looked like they were going to be in the championship series against the Yankees for a while there.
It did.
And keep in mind, they only had like one starter, Tarek Skubal. Obviously, he had a triple crown, won the Cy Young, burst onto the scene. Uh, they what did they do? They brought back Jack Flaherty, 2-year deal, after trading him to my Dodgers at the deadline. Which, hey, I'm completely fine with it. I got a ring, so thank you for your
Absolutely.
services. Thank you for your services, Jack Flaherty. Have fun back in Detroit, and who knows, maybe in 2 years we might need you again. But they signed Gleyber Torres to a 1-year deal. Kyle's guy we just mentioned it a second ago. Signed Alex Cobb. Signed Tommy Kahnle, Dodgers legend. Um,
Yankees legend.
yes, both of them. and then they traded Alex Federo with they traded him to the Rays. So the Tigers made some moves, and they did get better. Now this lineup: Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Winchell Perez, Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith, uh, Jace Jung, Jake Roberts, Zach McKinstry, Dodgers legend, and Trey Sweeney. And their rotation: Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Reese Olson, Casey Mines, and Kenta Maeda. And um, yeah, so their over under is set at 83.5. To me, that's too low. To me. I think they can win more than 83 games. I
Absolutely.
am. I don't want to say I'm high on the Tigers. I'm not picking them to come out of the American League or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I do expect them to kind of build off of the success they had last year. Like, I don't think that was a fluke. Like, I think they're now some of their guys maybe did, but I really think this Tiger team is going to be in it for 162 this year. I think I don't want to say they're back because being back is that you win the division and
Yeah.
you continue to win games. But we'll see. But we're gonna find out very quickly if this Tigers team is gonna be any good or not. Because if they get off to a rough start, everybody's gonna say, "See, last year was just a fluke; it didn't mean anything." But
Yeah.
this
So
isn't over for me. I feel very confident. 83.5. I'm taking the over.
absolutely, I am also slamming the hell out of that over. Um, so I have a quick hot take here, and this
Ooh.
could turn to be a very bad one, but I'm willing to take it because I'm extremely high on this Tigers team. I am. I love what they did last year. They were one of those Cinderella story type of teams, but I don't think that was just like a feeling or something. I think that team's that good, and I love what they did this offseason. They bring in Gleyber Torres, who you know what you're going to get with the bat. He was on fire in the World Series and the entire postseason last year. I expect him to build off of that. The defense, yeah, it's wishy washy. That's why the Yankees didn't re-sign him. But for the Tigers, I think they need that bat more than anything, and that's what they're going to get, in my opinion. I think they have an extremely good young core, and I think this season I'm still going to say this no matter how he turns out, but I want to see Spencer Torkelson, man. I have been waiting for years to see
Yep.
him take off, and I am waiting for it. And going with my hot take, I think he's going to do that, which is going to propel this team to win the division. I think the Tigers are going to win the AL Central this year. I really do. Now, it might not be much of a hot take to some people, but for me, I think it is because I still think Cleveland's extremely good. I think Kansas City's going to battle it out too. Um, and you never know what you're going to get out of Minnesota. So overall, I like this Tigers team, man, and I think they're going to win the division. And that, dude, what's really making me think this is that pitching rotation. I love it. I really do. Terry Skubal at the top, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Then you bring back Jack Flaherty, and I mean, you saw what he did for the Dodgers in Detroit last year. Um, you have Reese Olson there, and I think if we can get top prospect Casey Mize, maybe even half of that as a number 4 in there, I love that, and we know what we're going to get out of Kenta Maeda. He'll give you starts. Um, yeah, I'm high on this team, man. I really am. I love what I saw out of him last year, and I think they're gonna make some noise this year, especially with how weak the American League is.
Yeah.
Um, so even if they don't win the division, there's a chance that they get in with the wild card, and I think that's going to happen. I see this team being a postseason team, and I think I take it a step further. And I think they're going to win the AL Central.
I like that. I like
Thank you.
that. Kind of can see now where your head's at a little bit.
Yeah,
Kind of see because again, we're going through these teams. I'm like, I don't know where Kyle's mind is at, and then you mentioned Tigers. I'm like, okay, yeah, that would make sense. But
yeah. I'm
uh,
high on them, man. I really am.
I can see why you are. I can see why you are, and they have a good manager too. I hate to admit it, but uh,
Yeah,
I hate to admit it, but um, AJ Hinch is a really good manager, and seems like everything he touches, other than 2017, does turns out to be pretty good. So
absolutely. And
and the players love to play for him too.
there you go. Yep,
So
absolutely.
yeah, both of us over on the Tigers, and now that leads us to the final team in this division, the champs from last year in the American League Central, the Cleveland Guardians. What did the Guardians do? Nothing. They did do nothing. Didn't sign any free agents. That's what it says on MLB.com. I could, if anybody doesn't believe me, I can send you the link. Uh,
Wild.
oh, wait, hang on, wait a minute. No, sorry, my mistake. Let me do that again. I was looking at free agents. They have none left. Sorry,
Okay.
my mistake. That's my fault. Sorry, I've been in the Tucson sun for too long. Um,
All good.
Resign Austin Hedges. Resign Shane Bieber. Both 1 year deals. Sign Carlos Santana to a 1 year deal. A lot of 1 year deals in here. Sign Paul Sewald to a 1 year deal. Sign John Means to a 1 year deal. And they, in a three-team trade with the Pirates and Blue Jays, they acquired Luis L. Ortiz. They did lose Matthew Boyd, Alex Cobb to free agency, traded away and Andres Jimenez and uh, Josh Naylor and Miles Straw. So that was what their offseason looked like. Their lineup that they're going to roll out this year: Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzaro, Carlos Santana, Lane Thomas, Will Brendan, Bo Naylor, Juan Turo, Ryan. I mean, damn. Oh, see, it's a tongue twister. I struggle with this. Uh, Brian, I know it's easy. Shortstop, Brian Heroic.
Oh, Brian Rocchio.
Yeah, there you go. What he said. Uh, and the rotation's gonna be Tanner Bybee, Ben Lively, Gavin Williams, Luis L. Ortiz, like I mentioned, and Tristan McKenzie. And of course, they're back into the bullpen. Emmanuel Clase, who, as we know, had a rough ending last year. Rough ending. But I think he'll be okay. He'll be, again, probably the top close saver in the American League, again, like he always is. Their over
Oh,
under is set at 84.5 wins. All these five teams are bunched up against each other, man. This is insane. Wow, as my voice
sure.
cracks, that's how excited I am. Um, see, they're a lot like the Rays. Like for some reason, they trade guys away or they bring people in and they just turn into good players.
Yeah.
See, I really like some of the pieces that they let go last year.
Hmm.
Andres Jimenez, Josh Naylor, I really like those pieces. But again, I understand why you have to because a team like the Guardians are not going to sign, you know, they're not going to give a contract to Josh Naylor like probably what he wants and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I'll speak a little bit on the Guardians.
sure, yeah, go for it.
For me, I'm taking the over. It's these numbers are very good for Vegas. I will say that, and this is a division that I would not be betting on, because you never know what's going to happen. My biggest gripe with the Guardians is that they did so well last year. They made it to the ALCS, and you let two of the biggest pieces go. I hate that. Jimenez and then Naylor. And you know how high I am on Josh Naylor. I absolutely hated to play him, but damn did I want him on the Yankees. I wanted him on the Yankees. He's a guy who goes out there and he plays with grit. And I think that really propelled the Guardians a little bit in the clubhouse. So I think they're going to miss him a lot. I like Seawald paired with Clase in the back end of that bullpen. I think that's going to be nasty 1-2. Maybe not as good as Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, but I'll give it to him. But no, overall, I think this team is still very good. Maybe not very good, pretty good. I'll put it that way. Obviously, you still have J Ram, who's probably the most underrated player in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what they have, man. I don't think they're a bad team by any means. The pitching rotation it's a little shaky. You don't know what you're going to get, but I think this lineup is still good for. I'm kind of giving them away, but I think this lineup is a little bit good for second place in this division.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm not until I see the Guardians have a down year again. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take the over. I'm gonna take the over on them.
I get it.
Uh, like I said, they find a way, you know, to bring in these guys and they start producing right away.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
there you have it. There's the 5 team previews. Now let's give out our Cy Young and MVP and Cy Young awards for this division.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, there's going to be absolutely no shock to this. MVP Bobby Wood Jr., Cy Young, Eric Skubal. I can't bet against either of these guys, especially in this division. I tried making a little bit of an argument for J Ram because I love J Ram, man, I really do. But Bobby Witt, I think he's only going to continue to get better. And Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball, so I can't bet against those guys.
Well, to have some parity, I will take J Ram, but
Oh, okay, I like
that's
that.
also a great pick. Like I mean, that's also a good pick. Like that's not anything coming out of left field. I'm not picking Carlos Santana to be the MVP of this division.
No, no. Like I said, I just tried making the argument with myself for J Ram because I love him, man. I really do. I think he just doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
Should have gone crazy and take Schoolball for MVP and Cy Young, but you probably can. But yeah, I'm going Tarek Schoolball. I can't screw around with that. Like you mentioned it, best pitcher in baseball. I think he's gonna somehow be better than he was last year. And second
Absolutely.
half of the year, he was pretty much unhittable.
Yeah, I don't see like Cy Young was way too easy for me. For me, I was if I had to make a case for anybody else, it would have been Cole Reagans out of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Um, but he's not. No disrespect to Cole Reagans, but he's not Terry Screwball. So yeah, I agree.
All right, now let's do our division standings preview.
Oh man, it's gonna get dicey.
It is. You're really talking me and taking the Tigers for the division. But
Really?
yeah, you're really talking me into it. But I think I'm I think I'm gonna go White Sox 1. No, I'm just kidding. White Sox 5, Twins 4.
It's tough, man. These Central divisions.
See, I really want to put the Royals at 2.
Yeah,
Wait, no. Yeah, I really want to put the Royals at 2. I can't though. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go Royals 3. I'm going Tigers 2, Guardians 1.
I understand, man. I
Come
do.
back to me where the time. Let's revisit this at the deadline, and maybe I'll kind of regret making that pick. You know, but
No,
I
it's
feel good about that. I wouldn't say good. I feel okay about that.
as you should, man. For me, 1 and 2 was tough to place. But I kind of want to be a little bit different, and I like it's. I am
Nothing wrong
truly
with
that.
that.
Yeah, I am truly that high on the Tigers this year. I really am. For me, my division standings: 5 White Sox, 4 Twins, 3 Kansas City, which I was also in the same boat. I wanted to put them at 2, but for me, it's still Cleveland. So 2 for Cleveland, 1 Detroit. If people want to know, because I like to do this, we have a third member of ATD. Obviously,
Yes.
that's very known. Um, Mikey decided 5 for the White Sox, 4 for the Twins, 3 for my Detroit Tigers, 2 for Cleveland, and
Wow.
the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, so we this is obviously we're all different on this one, which is cool. So as high as I am on the Tigers, he follows suits with the Royals. So um, I get the hype, man, and
I get
I'm,
it
I'm
too.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked if any three of our predictions come out to be true.
Right.
This is one of those extremely wild card divisions, and I mean, you saw it with Vegas. They had their numbers so damn close to one another. So you really don't know how this division is going to shape out. But it's pretty cool that we all have different standings this division. So
Yeah, because you and I have been lockstep on pretty much all these divisions up to this point. So
yeah,
it's a nice change of things.
it is. It really is. So yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you don't have anything else, like I think we're done here.
I don't, man. I'll leave you with this. Enjoy the rest of your time out in Tucson, man. I wish I was with you. Kind of kicked myself in the ass a little bit, but there are things such as honeymoons that exist. So
Yes.
you got to make the missus happy. But yeah, man. No, you enjoy yourself. And
Make
like
my
like
left hand happy. Make it.
we absolutely. But yeah, man. Well, like we reiterated at the beginning of this podcast, we appreciate you guys very much. Lots of
Yes.
great content coming up. We got at least two credential trips coming up, so there's going to be a shit ton of content. Yeah, man. It's a good time right now. Let's hope that keeps up.
I think it will. I think it will.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Well, you'll see. Probably see the division probably next week.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
I
mean,
mean, the draft next week. So look out for that. And yeah, we have one division left.
that's it, man.
That's it. With 6 weeks have gone by so fast. It's crazy.
They have, and we kind of touched on it at the beginning of when we started doing these. We like to do these at the beginning of the year just because it's a little bit of a filler because we all
Yeah.
know that the baseball news kind of calms down a little bit after the big free agents, and it's not really worthwhile to report on minor league signings. So we enjoy doing this, and of course, we get a shit ton of interactions and comments about what we think these divisions are
Yes.
going to shape up like. But no, man. We're getting closer to opening day, so again, kind of reiterating, just stay tuned. We're gonna, this is gonna be a good year for ATD. I can feel it. So
I agree. All right.
absolutely.
Episode 118 in the books. We will see you again next week. I'll be back home in my
Yep.
normal place. We'll see you. We'll see you next Monday or Tuesday. No,
Yes.
Monday. Jesus. Adios.